Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Quantum Leap Futures Morning Leap session for Thursday, November the 15th, 2018. My name is Doug McKay. I'm the founder of Quantum Leap Futures. Each morning we get together in these live go-to sessions to take a look at the market macro to micro, take a look at the structure of the market, then we drill down to our trade levels, our targets, and our hypotheses. Our hypotheses are our trade plans. We do create multiple trade plans. We do not know what the market's going to do. Therefore, we create multiple scenarios and then wait to see who takes control once the market opens up, and then we execute the plan that best suits the market. This is a subscription room. If you're interested in checking it out, send me an email at quantumleapfutures@gmail.com. There's no website, there's no blog. This is not a commercial venture. We do everything live here in the go-to, and then we do live trading and analysis during the course of the regular trading hours. Please read through the disclaimer. Nobody at Quantum Leap is a certified trading advisor. We are retail traders operating within a self-organized learning environment. Past performance is not indicative of future results. Any trades that you see in Quantum Leap are for education purposes only. Please trade your own due diligence, your own trade plan, and your own risk metrics. Okay, so take a look at yesterday. Yesterday, turned out to be Hypo 4. Hypo 4 was a open test drive. We failed to get above the 51 key line in the sand, and then basically they just pounded it all day. Got down, nearly closed the gap, and then buyers stepped in, and like we saw on Tuesday, and we had these two impulses up. But again, as it did on Tuesday, we failed to hold those levels, and they rotated down, and we closed near the lows. We had the shift of the VPOC, which was up here most of the day, shifted down into the 2702, and then eventually down, which settled at 2703 and a quarter. And very much a trend day. I think it was 62 points of range or something like that. Just a very big day, and we're dipping into the 2600s. Remember that our year open is down here at 2675 and a quarter. So we are coming down. We're currently trading 2696. We're coming down to test that year open. Taking a look at the news today, we did have economic news at 8:30, a whole bunch of them. We had core retail sales was a beat, export prices was a beat, import prices was a beat. Initial jobless claims came out as anticipated. Jobless claims 4-week came out slightly higher than expected. New York Empire State came out as a beat. Philly Fed came out as a miss. This was a big miss right here. This Philly Fed Manufacturing Index. They were expecting 20.7. It came out at 12.9. That's a big miss. Retail sales came out as a beat, but it was very mixed. The market really didn't react too much to it. It popped up into the 2700s and then sold off again, and came down, and we're back in the 2600s. Canadian ADP non-farm employment change, that was a big miss, really big miss. Again, not really good economic news overall. 10 o'clock, we've got business inventories. We've got Coral speaking. 10:30, we've got natural gas. At 11 o'clock, we've got crude oil inventories and all of its associates. 11:30, we've got Powell speaking again, and then we've got Bostic speaking at 1 o'clock, and we got Kashkari speaking at 3 o'clock. So a lot of news. The bigger news right now is there is a movement right now in the UK. They've submitted a letter of no confidence for Theresa May, and her leadership is being challenged. And that's going on as we speak right now. So just keep in mind that although it is getting a little bit later there in the day, but that is something that we have to pay attention to today, because that could move the market, especially if it threatens the Brexit deal. Apparently, the opinion coming out of their cabinet the cabinet was mixed, but they were backing Teresa, but the House is saying that she gave up too much on all the important points, and they're going to try to replace her, and that's likely going to put the Brexit deal at jeopardy. So each day we start our day with the same routine. We go to a simple candlestick chart. We go to a larger time frame and start working our way down. And what we're looking for, we use a 9 EMA, 20 SMA. I'm gauging how strong the trend is through slope and separation of the moving averages, price paralleling the 9 nicely, and then whether or not it's being challenged by breaking the 9 or a possible trend change by breaking the 9 and the 20. Right now, we've had a very long run, very good trend, and it got challenged and almost violated in October. And right now, we're smack dab in the middle of these two moving averages and failing to get back and hold above the 9 for continuation up. So we are seeing some weakness on the monthly. On the weekly, we are seeing the start of a possible trend change and a downward trend. We're getting slope and separation. Still a little bit early, but we've rejected the 9 EMA from below the last 2 weeks so far, and continuing to see weakness coming in. You see that more on the daily. As you can see, we're starting to see a downward move. Still, we got slope, but we're not getting a lot of separation yet. But again, it is early, and I'd be looking for a move down into this support level if we cannot get back up above that 27.50, the yearly microcomposite VPOC. Going to the 4-hour, you can see this is a very solid trend. Good slope, good separation. Price is paralleling the 9 and failing to get above the 9 on every retest. So we do have a pretty decent trend on the 4-hour. And just going to the 30-minute, we had a downward trend. They tried to take it back, and they've been fighting it. And it looks like this is going to resolve itself to the downside. I mean, nobody knows, but it's giving you the where we are in those particular time frames. Looking at the structure, of course, our yearly VPOC is right here at the 27 and a quarter, 27.50. We've broken back down out of that balance. The smaller time frame VPOC is still above at the 27.7250, but we've broken through this balance and this balance. So the next big target below is this balance down here at the 26.53. And I'd be watching this 93 very carefully, because if we get below the 93, then we're falling out of this larger microcomposite value area and getting inside of the shorter time frame, and we're likely to come down into this distribution zone where we've got a lot of undetermined fair value, and that price acceptance that we found on the last dip down, and then that move back up into the 2800s. Key levels to pay attention to here: 93. 2707 is going to be our key line in the sand above. And if we get above that, you could use the 2710, but I'm going to use the 2707 because it was our key line in the sand below yesterday. And our key line in the sand below is going to be this 93. And we're looking for a move down through into this distribution. If we get above 2707, a move up into the 2720 to 27.2750 area is likely as we come back up into this balance. Overnight inventory is pretty balanced out right now. A pretty decent Gaussian distribution. I mean, as decent as you can get with the ranges that we've got. We just did get the VPOC shift back down from the 27.05 down to the 2697, and we're below it right now. And coming down, we just tested this key line in the sand right now. But the inventory itself is balanced, and we're 3 times the normal volume. So we have OTF activity again, which means we should see some volatility and some large rotations. I mean, we've been seeing some huge rotations. Very tough to trade when the book is so thin, and the algos could just rip it 5, 6, 7 points very quickly. So our overnight high is 1675. Our overnight low is 89. Our daily average true range is running at 5610. So our daily upside ATR is all the way up here at 2745 and a quarter, and our daily downside ATR target is down here at 2660.75. What does that mean? It means that we can move back up into the mid 2700s or down to the mid 2600s right now without expanding the 20 period daily average true range. Our overnight VPOC just shifted down. It is now at 97. And we're currently trading 96. So, barring news, I mean, there could be more news out of Europe. There could be news about China or headline news, whatever it is. But my main hypothesis is a continuation lower. So I'm looking for a open auction in range, in value, a large value area, and I'm looking for a rotation up back into the 2700s and up into the 2703 to 2710. This is going to get shifted down to the 07. And this becomes our key line in the sand above. And the 93 becomes our key line in the sand below. And unfortunately, the 2700 becomes our over underline, but I'm going to use 9850 because I think if we get above 9850, we test the 2700 anyway. All right, so hypo 1, open auction, in range, just inside of value or just outside of value, a move up into the 2703 to 2707, fail to hold the 2700s, sellers step in, rotate us down, take out the overnight low, and push down into the 75 area to test the year open, and then find a base and bounce and chop, fighting this 2700 and basically just chopping in the lower distribution of the prior day, basically chopping in this distribution area right here. That is hypo 1. Equally weighted, because of possible news, is a open auction in range, just inside value, a continuation lower, take out the overnight low, but fail to get below the 2680, somewhere between the 2680, 650 and 2680. Find buyers, rotate us back up through the 2700 and push up and come up here and chop between the 2700 and the 2720 area and basically go sideways all day. Hypo 3 is a breakdown day, open test drive, failure to get above the key line in the sand above at 2707. Sellers step in early, take us through the overnight low, push down into the 2680, 2675, fail, and then push down through down. And the target for hypo 3 is between the 2660 and the 2650 area and coming down into this 5275. Remember that the next big target below is down here in the 53 and a quarter. In fact, I'm going to put that target in there. And that's the main priority target for Hypo 3. Hypo 4 is a open auction just in range, just outside of value or just inside of value. Buyers take us up, rip us up through the 2707 and push up through and come up here into the 2750, chop between the 20 and the 2750, and then push up into this 2737, 75 to 2744, and then find sellers and close somewhere back down here in the 2750 area. Those are my main hypotheses for the ES. I'm not going to bother doing gold today because we started late. That's going to complete our pre-market session. As always, trade well, trade safe, and we'll catch you on the flip side.